Hey everybody, and welcome to Bearcat Update. I'm your host Jason Holland, and today we'll be covering the final stretch for volleyball, football's dominant send-off, and the first week's action of basketball. Before we get into the action, make sure you take a second to subscribe to KNWT TV on YouTube. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell to be notified the second that we post new content. Cue the intro.
And he's hitting the backfield, breaks loose from one would-be tackler around the corner right side to the 30, 25, sideline 20 to the 15, the 10, the 5, into the end zone, touchdown Northwest. West, ball at the 19-yard line.
After an up and down year, the volleyball team's season is coming down to the final stretch as the days tick by. The Bearcats had two matchups this past week to close out the regular season, traveling to both Kansas and Oklahoma. They started off with a matchup against the Pitt State Gorillas, where they would unfortunately fall in a 3-0 sweep. The first set looked promising as Pitt State barely squeezed out a 27-25 win, but the following two wouldn't quite be as close. The Bearcats would lose 25-15 and 25-13 in the final two sets, hitting for just 125 as compared to the Gorillas' 297. The second match of the week wouldn't fare much better for Northwest as they were once again swept 3-0 by the 16th ranked Central Oklahoma Broncos. The Broncos would jump out to a commanding lead, winning the first two sets 25-12, while the Bearcats would start to rally back in the third. The 17 points put up weren't quite enough as the Broncos would finish it off 25-17. Things weren't all that bad, however, as junior Peyton Kirkenheffer would notch 9 kills, putting her career total at 1,000. A big congratulations to Peyton and good luck to the rest of the team as they head in to the MIAA tournament this week as the 6th ranked seed. They will take on Nebraska-Kearney on Thursday. After getting off to a rocky start to the season, the Bearcat football team started to pull everything together and looked to end the season on a positive note this week against the Nebraska-Kearney Lopers. It was senior day at Bearcat Stadium, so they were looking to go out on a bang, and man did they ever. When it was all said and done, the Bearcats would come out on top 56-7. There was never a doubt to the direction the game was going as the Bearcats started off the game scoring in just the first 30 seconds. They would end the game with 8 total touchdowns on the day, 2 of which would come from breakout running back Jay Harris, who, spoiler alert, once again would rush for over 100 yards, becoming the first Bearcat player in history to have 100-plus rushing yards in every regular season game. Senior quarterback Mike Hohensee would also end his career in style, tossing 4 touchdowns and bringing his career total to 63, becoming just the 5th Northwest quarterback to have 60-plus career touchdown passes. The defense also dominated the gridiron this week, posting 7 total turnovers, 4 coming on fumbles and 3 on interceptions. One of those interceptions would account for one of the 8 total touchdowns on the day, as senior Rhett Jordan would return 1 for a pick 6 in the fourth quarter. The Lopers' only bright spot of the day would come on a 79-yard kickoff return touchdown in the fourth quarter. All in all, the Bearcats could not have asked for a better senior day as they ended the season on a win, bringing their final record to 7-4 on the year. After a successful career on the field, one may wonder how someone could stay so consistently on top of their game. Our reporter Micah Storey sat down with record-setting quarterback Mike Hohensee to take a closer look into his life on and off the field. Take it away.
As we started getting into my first year of playing, it was awesome to be able to just get into the mix of things. I punted, had some Wildcat time too, and it was awesome to be able to get on the field and get that experience. And I think that really helped me when in 2021, when I got my first opportunity to start, I already got some, game experience under my belt, and I was definitely prepared for the moment when it came, and I was able to take full advantage of it. It really didn't hit me until this week. I've definitely been kind of soaking it in all week, with my teammates and my coaches, just wanting to be able to, be in the moment every day. Monday was my last Monday practice, Tuesday was my last Tuesday practice, and then Friday, today's our last walkthrough, and tomorrow's the last game, so it's really all just now starting to hit. It'll hit more after the game, but right now I'm just enjoying my time with my teammates and my coaches. The team has made me a better individual in a few ways. It's taught me a lot of lessons that I'll take with me forever. One is just always being prepared, showing up every day like it's your job and you gotta do what you gotta do. And it doesn't matter if you aren't the main guy, if you're a backup, if you're the third string, always show up like you're the starter, and you need to prepare that way from day one. So when you do get your shot, you're ready to take advantage of it, and you don't fold under pressure when the time's there because you feel like you're not ready. I don't always say it all the time, but truly is a family atmosphere, and in the football program, we got the coaches and teammates, obviously. We see them every day. It's going to be weird not being around them every day. And then also, just the staff and all the town of Maryville, too. Over these past few years, they've really taken me in. Kid from, the Chicagoland area, kind of culture shocked coming here. And then now it's feeling like a home away from home.
Thank you for that insight, Micah. We're going to go ahead and jump into our first break of the show. Make sure to stick around for coverage over the men's and women's basketball season kickoff.
Unlike other organizations on and around campus, here, the students do it all.
KNWT is a student-run and student-produced television station.
To support this content, you can go to our YouTube channel at KNWT Channel 8.
And watch the latest shows or even enjoy blasts from the past.
And coming up next here, I'll have my interview with our new guest here on Who's Next on the X right after this quick break.
Time of day, we're on in 20.
Good morning. Well, a lot of us do, but maybe this one.
Count me down if you don't mind.
Who's Next on the X?
Welcome back to Bearcat Update. The men's basketball team officially kicked off their season this past week. After last season did not end even close to how they wanted it to, the #1 ranked Bearcats are coming into this season with a chip on their shoulder and a thirst for victory. They started off their season strong, securing a win over the 21st ranked Northern State Wolves in the first game of the Hilliard Tip-Off Classic in St. Joseph, Missouri. It was senior forward Wes Dreamer who would lead the way for the Bearcats, going 5 for 9 in the field, dropping 15 points and bringing down 8 rebounds. Our reporter Caleb Allen has the report from the courtside of this game. Take it away, Caleb.
Northwest Missouri State basketball team season has officially kicked off. Northwest came into the season ranked #1 in the country and have some high expectations coming into the season. Lots of returners and also players who have won national championships like Daniel Abreu, Wes Dreamer, Byron Alexander, Isaiah Jackson, and many more who have played key parts to the Northwest basketball program in the past few years. Going into this game on Friday, Northwest had a hard schedule coming up on #21 ranked Northern State University, where this all took place at the Hilliard Classic in St. Joe, Missouri. The Bearcats defense blitzed the Wolves in the final 9 minutes of the first half to turn a 2-point deficit into a 16-point lead. Northern State made only 2 field goals in the final 9 minutes of the first half, as the Bearcats defense simply took over. Northwest used an 18-0 scoring spurt from the 6-minute mark until 3 seconds in the first half. Northern State held an 18-16 lead with 6 minutes and 46 remaining in the first half. Despite only making 1 3-pointer on 10 attempts in the opening half, Northwest was able to attack the basket and take advantage at the free throw line. Northwest went 11 for 13 in the first half on free throws, while the Wolves were only 2 for 4 at the free throw line. During the first half, West Dreamers' putback gave Northwest a 9-point lead, coming in at 27-18 with 2 minutes and 23 minutes to play. As it was a back-and-forth matchup, Northwest shot only 44.2% from the floor, including 2 of 17 from three-point range. Bearcats' defense forced Northern State to shoot 34%. Northern State made 6 of 23 three-pointers. Northwest won the rebounding battle 35-31. The Bearcats had only 4 double-digit scores and were led by West Streamer with 15 points, and Bayard Alexander and Bennett Sturts added an 11-piece performance, while Jack tallied 12 more off the bench in the Bearcat debut. Northwest made the number 21 team in the country look easy. As we look to the rest of the season, this is a good start for the Bearcats. But the Bearcats have many more tough opponents coming up in their regular season battle. I'm excited to see what they do this season. This is Caleb Allen, signing off.
That game would mark the 8th consecutive season opener win for the Bearcats. The Bearcats would look to continue this momentum in their next game of the tournament against the Southwest Minnesota State Mustangs. Sophomore Bennett Sturts would go off for the Bearcats, dropping 29 points on the Mustangs, which was good for a career best. This wouldn't quite be enough though, as the Bearcats would drop the decision 56-63. The men's team will continue their season this upcoming weekend as they travel to South Dakota for the Small College Basketball Champions Classic. Now kicking things over to the women's team, who also started the regular season this past week. Things started off strong for the Bearcats as they opened up the season with a victory over the Southwest Minnesota State Mustangs. It would be junior Molly Hartnett that would lead the way for Northwest, going 9 for 20 from the field, dropping 27 points, a career high. Junior Kelsey Fields would also mark a career high performance, dropping 22 points on the day. The team would keep this momentum going into their next matchup against the Minnesota Crookston Golden Eagles. It would be junior Peyton Kettleman who would lead the way for the Bearcats, this time leading 22 points, continuing the trend of setting career highs for scoring. Molly Hartnett would also once again contribute big for Northwest, dropping 15 points with 3 baskets from beyond the arc. If any of this basketball talk was confusing to you, or you're just wanting to get into the game, our reporter Anthony Martinez has you covered with all the basics that you need to understand basketball. Take it away, Anthony.
Hey guys, I'm Anthony Martinez. I am back with Bearcat Update. Today, I'm back with another sport rules video, and the sport we'll be covering today is the second most popular sport in the United States, known as basketball. Some rules can be confusing in this sport, but once you get it, it's actually pretty fun. Let's get right into it. The first rule we'll be going over today is called traveling. In the sport of basketball, where you're driving up to the basket to score, a layup, or even a dunk, you can only take 2 steps without dribbling the ball. If you take more than 2 steps, the ref will blow his whistle and call a travel, which will then call the play dead and then give possession to the other team. As easy as it sounds to avoid traveling, it happens very commonly in the NBA. Here's a clear example of traveling. As you can see, he definitely took more than 2 steps to go score that layup on the fast break. The next basketball rule that we will be going over is called an and one. This occurs when a player is driving up to the basket or even taking a shot and they get fouled in the process but still make the basket. In this instance, since the basket was made, they get to shoot 1 free throw instead of 2. This is where the title of the and one comes from. This gives a player a chance to make a 3-point play when he just scored a 2-pointer, or even a 4-point play if he makes a 3-pointer. Here's a clip of a clear and one.
Open floor, James, grab from behind, count it, goaltend.
The final rule that we will be going over is called a moving screen. This happens when someone sets a screen for his teammate to use, but the person setting the screen moves while he is setting the screen. Once you get set, you cannot move, or else the ref will call you for the moving play, and he will call the play dead and give possession to the other team. Here's a clip of a moving screen. That's all that we will be covering for the sport of basketball. If you do end up catching some interest and start watching basketball, I recommend that you check out the NBA, as their season just started and it goes until the end of June when the NBA Finals take place. I'll be kicking it back to our host, Jason.
Thank you so much for that insight, Anthony. We're going to take one more quick break, but make sure you stick around afterwards for important news over the future of the girls' soccer team.
Running since 1971, broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Featuring programs and news from National Public Radio, as well as Americana, jazz, and classical music. KXCV 90.5 FM Maryville, KNRW 88.9 FM Chillicothe.
This week we put all the Easter eggs and behind the scenes on a bagel and everything everywhere all at once in Film Finds. And then we go to the dark side in Star Wars lore. Join us for new episodes of Nerd Central each Wednesday at 6 on KNWT TV.
The season has only been over for a week, but the soccer team is already preparing for next season as head coach Mark Gordon recently announced that Northwest recently inked 6 players for the 2024 recruiting class. Brooke Bellhumer, Julia Kocher, Maddie Germenhart, Carly Hummel, Lydia Klein, and Bailey Simmelink have all announced their commitment to continue their careers in Bearcat Green. Each recruit boasts numerous accomplishments, from state titles to Player of the Year nods. So Coach Gordon, as well as all of our crew here at Bearcat Update, cannot wait to see what y'all accomplish here. But that is all the time that we have for Bearcat Update. I'm your host, Jason Holland, and you're watching Bearcat Update, the provider of complete coverage of Northwest sports. We post a new episode every Monday at 6 p.m., and you can find us on YouTube at KNWT TV. As well as Bearcat Update, you can watch all of KNWT TV's other content on the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week.